I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
It is time for Happy Hour. It's the Man Cave Happy Hour. Whiskey, cigars, spirits, the stories that go along with it. I'm Jamie Flanagan.
I am Matt Fox. Hi, Jamie.
Hey, Matthew.
Hey, it's early.
It's always, it's never too early.
Never too early, no.
But just having some fun in the Man Cave, yes. The palatial Man Cave suite of the Podcast Your Voice studios.
In wonderful Southfield, Michigan.
And doing what we do, having fun and talking to amazing, interesting people. And we have amazing, interesting people that we're visiting with because they have very interesting news.
Yes.
And we're going to get to that.
That they do.
Both sides of the pond at once after we thank people for hanging out.
Yes.
And invite them to tell not just one, but somewhere around 50 of your closest friends.
You have 50 close friends, Jamie?
No, not even close. You guys, I'm followed by like maybe 4 people on Twitter, and my Insta is blown up at like 5.
Yeah, a whole team number
and there's
of people.
There's no K behind that, just 5. That's it. So like, subscribe, leave a comment. It's
That's
just
more than
that
me,
simple.
At least, yeah.
So we can increase our listenership. As soon as my mom starts following, we'll be all set. Mother,
wow.
it's the butt, Mom. It's the butt. It's
Don't hit the thumbs down, Mom.
Now
Come
she's
on.
gone. Now she's gone. All right, but like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all those podcasty things where all the podcast stuff happens. We appreciate you following the Man Cave.
Yes.
Happy Hour, mancavehappyhour.com, and
Woo-hoo.
on all the socials. Matt, what do we got brewing or distilling today?
Well done. So today is kind of a special day.
I'm going to chop up a lemon while you do that.
You know, there are a number of things. We started the whole Man Cave Happy Hour, and we wanted to meet interesting people, learn about the process, and we are fortunate enough to welcome back our good friend Adam von Gootkin back into the Man Cave Happy Hour. Adam, welcome back into the Man Cave.
I love the Man Cave.
Adam is an author. He's an entrepreneur.
Yes.
He's a multi-continental businessman. And it's
I want to hear more.
and one of his projects that we are the biggest fan of is Highclere Castle Gin.
Yes, Highclere Castle. We were introduced to this by a friend of mine, his brother Ethan. It got us all connected right when the pandemic was starting in 2020, and we were all on our back porches, and we were smoking cigars that came from Highclere Castle. We were drinking Highclere Castle Gin, and we really had a wonderful, wonderful experience with you. And having you come back to see us for, I think this is your 3rd time in the Man Cave, if I'm not mistaken, Adam, just to learn and kind of get caught up as to what's going on with Highclere, what you guys are doing. You've had a number of things happen over the past year and a half, 2 years. And, we'll start with the awards that you guys have actually you got that. Just another award just came your way, did it not?
Yeah, we were just given an incredibly prestigious award from a Master's Award from the Spirits Business magazine, which is one of the most prestigious in the world. We were the only gin in the entire year to receive this award, and I'm so proud. I mean, we're up to now 58 international double gold, and platinum awards.
Platinum.
We're amongst the most awarded spirits in the world.
That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible.
And there's no secret to it. The reason is because what's in this bottle is just astounding. Colleen and I have I'll bring home spirits that we do on the show, and she's like, yeah, all right, sure, fine, you can put that down on your shelf, Jamie. And when the Highclere rolled into the house and she gave it a try, she was like, yep, Mommy walked out of the room with this one. Colleen enjoyed it immensely, and she is apparently not in men, but in her cocktails and her liqueurs.
Yeah.
She's extraordinarily selective and choosy.
That's awesome.
And so she enjoyed the heck out of us, and we share it with our friends, and we'll tell them the story, and inevitably people are impressed. And it all, Adam, hats off to you and the partnership and the friendship with Lady and Lord Carnarvon and the Highclere Castle Estates, because
absolutely.
That's where the magic happens. We've talked about it, and when we're just making cocktails, Matt and I have gotten into making cocktails.
Terribly.
Yeah.
Me, at least.
And when we call up a gin, a lot of times we'll bring your name in vain, or we'll use this as our base.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we were doing that with our friends at Lockhouse Distillery
out of Buffalo, New York.
And so she didn't send us. Her folly was not sending us any of her gin. So we pulled out the Highclere,
Buffalo Bourbon Babe. Yes,
yeah,
Rachel.
Yeah.
She was super nice, and she knows her gin. She really does. And she had never heard of Highclere Castle,
so we gave her the shtick.
But you guys are available now in 28 U.S. markets.
Some new ones, right?
Yeah. And
what's new?
And that's I'm sorry, go ahead, Adam.
I was just going to say, we just launched Washington, D.C., Maryland, and I'm very happy to see Maine come online, and we're right in the middle of activating Mississippi.
Wow.
So a few new U.S. states, but we are available through our website, shipping direct to the door, direct to home shipment in 40 U.S. states.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
All right, that's good.
See, and that's the thing, Jamie.
The states are weird. It's different laws in every different corner.
Yeah. Well, prohibition made it very difficult.
Yep.
Right. Things are definitely opening up, Adam. Right. The world is getting back to normal in quotations. So when people are traveling again, so when they travel across the U.S., being in 28 states, you're probably going to be able to find it, right? Depending on where you go.
Someone was just telling me the other day they were doing a cross-country journey. They were in Kentucky. Mm-hmm. They pulled off to this kind of random small little liquor store in Kentucky. And they walked in Highclere. He said, I bought every bottle that they had because I was going to get it again on my trip. Yeah, we're our distributors are doing a good job. More importantly, I think our fans and customers around the world are asking for it in all kind of corners, interesting corners of the U.S. too. Mm-hmm. So they're helping us because, what's fun about this business, what's fun about the spirits industry, and I know you guys totally connect with this, is it's all about storytelling. Mm-hmm. And what I love is when I encounter people like yourselves who appreciate the quality of the liquid, but they also can really get into the story. Mm-hmm. And they want to tell that story to other people like you guys have done as amazing friends of ours and friends of the brand, to say, look, a gin is not a gin is not a gin. First of all, there's a lot of effort and time and money that goes into crafting any recipe worth drinking.
Yeah.
And then, but why does the brand exist? What's the reason for it? Just because we like dogs or it's a celebrity thing? No, it's got to have an essence. It's got to have a story. What I call a reason to be, and that to me is why Highclere fit the bill flawlessly to deserve the time and energy to say, let's bring the spirit of Highclere Castle to life. Mm-hmm. Let's liquefy it and share it with people from around the world. So, and you guys totally get it.
Yeah. So now, if people want to, because you want to buy it, you want to drink it, you can find it through the website, and that's great news. 40 things. But if people want to get more involved in that, you got something really new and interesting going on. With crowdsourcing, it's what's going on with that, so people can get involved.
Everybody wants to grow. We want to grow. You want to grow.
I've been growing through the pandemic, but that's just because I've been eating through it. How's Highclere growing?
Yeah, right. But that's the thing. Everyone's looking to for different ways to grow, and a lot of folks will go out and say, hey, support us. But you guys are doing just that, but in a very different way. Help us understand what's going on.
Yeah, it's really a lot of fun, and it's been a really interesting journey. Coming into this year, a couple months back, we've just launched in parts of Europe as well, including Denmark and Malta, and now Poland. We're now in some of the best restaurants and hotels of Warsaw. So we're looking at what are options to fuel this growth. We've got fantastic momentum. We're in some of the best hotel bars and restaurants from London to New York and Florida, and just kind of targeting the real best of the best where people really appreciate it. So how do we continue to fuel this? So we looked at various financing options, and we decided to do something a little bit different for a brand like ours, and that's to go to the crowdfund route. And the way we saw it is, we've got thousands of incredible fans and friends and brand ambassadors like yourselves around the world who really get this brand. And so we said, why not allow them to participate in owning actual equity in Highclere Castle Gin, investing directly in the company. mean, I think the minimal investment amount is relatively small. It's $150 or something like that. And then people are investing a lot more than that as well. But it's allowing people on WeFunder, who's a leading crowdfund platform that we've partnered with, to actually participate in the journey and the success of Highclere Castle Gin, and then even more so act as brand ambassadors and get access to some really kind of sexy perks.
All right, so let me.
Oh, you had me at sexy.
So let's say I open up the pocketbook and I'm like, I have $150 extra that's not a part of my budget, and I put that into WeFunder. What does that look like? Is there a piece of the company that you own, like a piece of stock? Help me understand that.
Yeah. So it's a little bit, it's kind of spelled out very clearly on the WeFunder page that kind of talks about exactly how it works. But yeah, essentially you're investing in equity stock in the actual company. So, you own a piece of the company. The more you invest, obviously, the more equity interest you actually own in the company.
Sure.
And then along with that, so you're able to participate in that perspective, and then you're also able to participate in the levels of perks and things that we have going on. And actually, we launched just last week. It came out of the gate crazy. We hit our first milestone in like 4 hours, and now this week is the week that we're actually starting to promote it. There's some PR that's happening and some digital media outreach and stuff. So it's been very interesting and a lot of fun.
So we all have goals. Do you have a goal, Jamie?
I have plenty of goals.
Adam, you have a goal as well. I have plenty of goals myself. What is the goal for the WeFunder, for the crowdfunder? What dollar amount is it that you're looking to do?
Yeah, so it's broken down into a series of milestones. The end goal that we're looking at is somewhere around the $3 million mark, which will help us to fuel funding into Europe and Asia, because we've got many opportunities coming up for Highclere Castle Gin in Asia as well. So yeah, that's kind of the general goal, and but it wasn't just about that. This was when you're growing a brand like this, there's plenty of options we have in terms of family office financing or private equity financing, and this was about really allowing our fans and connoisseurs to invest and participate in Highclere Castle's journey beyond just, hey, I'm a frequent drinker, I really enjoyed the product. It was about, let's open the kind of doors and say, hey, if you're really passionate about what we stand for, history, heritage, prestige, super quality, then we want to allow you to kind of participate in the journey with us as the company grows.
Excellent.
How is your supply chain right now? Because actually, because there were like 3 or 4 party stores I would see Highclere Castle Gin in, and now there's like it's sometimes 1 or 2 of them have it, and it's like, is it? But so because I know we have other friends that are doing spirits and supply chain between bottles and getting things back and forth across the pond. How is your supply chain? How's the supply around the country in the States, and then for your new European outlets?
Yeah, it's a great question. In terms of that party store anecdote, I'd like to learn a little bit more about that maybe after we talk here, just so I can have my sales team kind of look at that. In fact, Michigan has been blowing up for us. We've had a couple of record-breaking weeks in terms of
maybe it's just been sold out every time I've gone in, which is a good problem to have, right?
It is, but the distributor has plenty of stock, and we really. We've had a couple close calls because there are shipping container shortages. So obviously, Highclere Castle, as you guys know, Highclere Castle Gin is distilled and bottled in England. They're distilled in England's oldest gin distillery, bottled there. Then it goes to the port, and we bring a container at a time over to the U.S., where it goes to a warehouse in New Jersey, and then it's distributed around the country. So we've had... obviously there's some destabilizing things that have happened over the last couple of years. We've had to manage through Brexit, the coronavirus, and now, of course, the war, this very sad situation that's happening in the Ukraine, which will impact some energy prices because of gas and things like that. But overall, fingers crossed, we haven't had any significant disruptions. And we just had another container of product arrive literally yesterday from England to the U.S. So nothing there. So if they don't have product, and that's because we need to address it and make sure that they're ordering when they're getting low. Right. Because I can tell you that in December or January alone, we had 300 new accounts open up in Michigan. Our distributor, Great Lakes, has done a fantastic job. And now we're doing, now we've just, my head of sales just got back from going up north. So he was up in Traverse City and that way the kind of holiday zones.
Gaylord, right? Traverse City.
Those are good spots to be in. Traverse City, the old Traverse City area.
Because that's on the 46th parallel.
Yeah, it is.
Traverse City is.
That's Michigan wine country up there is what that is. It really is. There's a crap ton of wineries. Yeah. It's a riot up there.
So real quick with the WeFunder, you said that folks can actually go to the webpage. There's a little vignette, a video there for you guys, and it kind of talks to everyone through that. So that's at wefunder.com / highclere.castle.gin. That's where you'd want to go to check that out. And we'll put that in our show notes, Jamie, if we could, so folks can click on there and get right to it. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, and it gets into the business plans and it introduces the entire team. And there's a wonderful video we shot on there, and there's a space where we'll posting company updates and things like that. So yeah, it's a really great platform WeFunder has provided us.
Excellent. So another thing about the world coming back to normal is that something I got to do the past couple of times now is I got to go to the movies.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I got to get to the movie theater, get to experience the Spider-Man that came out not too long ago.
Sure.
With spoiler alert, all three of them. I'll just throw that out there. But Downtown Abbey, the movie, the sequel, number 2, is coming out very, very soon. When does that due to drop?
Yeah, it's end of May.
Okay.
So it's May 22nd in the United States. Downtown Abbey Part 2 is coming out, and we can't wait.
Yeah. No, neither can we.
looking forward to that. Being an English teacher, it's like all my English teacher counterparts. I'm like, guess what I'm doing today? And they're like, and I was telling them about just talking about the Highclere Castle, and a couple of them didn't know because they hadn't had lunch with me in a while, and I haven't bent their ear about it. I tell this story, so they're like, "Oh my God, that's so cool!" That's and so they're interested about the gin because they're such Downton Abbey fans,
right?
We're talking about the container that made it here, and you were very deliberate about that. It's distilled in England and bottled at that oldest distillery, and it comes in labeled as a London Dry gin. So just because I got the memory of a goldfish. It's about 5 seconds long. So gin compared to London Dry gin, does it have to be produced in? Because bourbon is a product of the United States, and you got to be somewhere in the United States to be called bourbon.
Correct.
So London Dry what is the rule on that for that?
Yeah, it's a great question, and believe it or not, most people don't know what London Dry gin really means.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the quick one on this.
Please.
At some point in the late 1800s, there was an invention in England of something called the coffee still by a gentleman named Coffee, and this coffee still basically was a very big technology improvement on the stills that they were using for gin before this still. The stills they were using before the coffee still produced a pretty harsh gin. They were pretty intensely harsh. And so what people would do is they would add honey or sugar or sweetener or fruit juice or whatever to sweeten the gin to make it palatable, because it was kind of like a gin moonshine thing that they were making. With the invention of the coffee still, they really got a pure gin. Most of the companies that were making gin with the coffee still happened to be based in London. So what ended up developing is this concept of a London Dry gin, which traditionally meant it was distilled in London. No flavors or sweeteners or artificial flavorings are added to the gin. It's pure from the still. Hence, it's dry, so it's not sweet. Dry would have been how they would have explained a non-sweetened thing. They would call it dry. So in this case, we are not distilled in London per se, but we are distilled in England, and it still classifies as a London Dry gin because we don't add any artificial flavors, sweeteners, or anything. It's pure gin spirit from the still, then blended down with spring water to proof.
My goodness.
So yeah, that's. I was just curious about that. Just the.
So what was the first thing that you said, Adam? I'm kidding.
The delineation of that. So Matt and I, but we've been on a cocktail kick of late, And a lot of times when I'm making martinis, I've been doing vodka. I mean, traditionally, but traditional martini was always gin. But thanks Seagram's and Bond for Smirnoff and Bond for changing that up and going crazy with the marketing. Vodka had become just a very close, very very close horse in the race. As well.
A little history fact there that's kind of fun. So when the martini began growing in popularity, which would have been around the time of Prohibition and kind of post-Prohibition, it was always traditionally made with gin. The reason why is in the Western world, vodka didn't exist. Vodka was a Russian and Eastern European product.
Huh?
And when you look at England, when you look at France, when you look at Spain and the United States and North America, there was no vodka here until Hueblein really started bringing it over in the 50s. Wow. In fact, when Smirnoff vodka arrived here, nobody knew what it was. So they used to market it as white whiskey because nobody knew what vodka was. And so only in the past, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s did vodka start to become the thing that it is now.
So it wasn't what is it, the hair of the dog? Or what is it, the white dog? Is that what they call bourbon that hasn't been gone through the barrel yet? Call it a white dog?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Unaged whiskey.
Yeah, my goodness. So that's one of the biggest things about the Man Cave, because I had no idea about that. Mm-hmm. And thank you for sharing that. In all honesty. So there's other things that are happening. Her Majesty the Queen. She is celebrating.
Talking about cocktails,
right?
Let's make a cocktail with the Queen.
Her Majesty the Queen celebrating her Platinum Jubilee, 70 years. So what is it that you guys are working with Her Majesty the Queen this year?
Yeah, it's quite amazing. Queen Elizabeth is just such a leader on the global stage. And when you think about the fact that she has given 70 years of her life to her reign and to the United Kingdom, to the Commonwealth. And I think, we would all be in agreement that she's absolutely adored, the world over and has earned it. And so one of the fun things about Her Majesty is that, she's enjoyed a tipple or two over the years. And as we understand it, one of the traditions at lunch has always been that she's enjoyed a gin and Dubonnet. And a Dubonnet, Renee, would you grab me that bottle of Dubonnet on the cart there? Dubonnet is a French, really it's a French, I call it an aperitivo. It's an aperitif. And it's a bit of an old school brand. It's been around since the 1800s.
Okay.
Her Majesty enjoys a gin and a Dubonnet. And so we thought, that's not a very popular cocktail in the United States. So to honor the Platinum Jubilee this year, why don't we really start to promote her favorite cocktail, Highclere Castle Gin and a Dubonnet. And what I did was, I'm not much of a mixologist, believe it or not. I'm a purist. I can distill spirits all day, but but I thought, to make this, somehow we have to elevate this classic gin and Dubonnet. Let's do something, it needs a crown, so to speak. So we're now topping it with a splash of champagne, which of course makes everything better.
Of course.
So it's 50-50 Highclere Castle Gin. It's 50-50 Highclere Castle Gin and Dubonnet, topped with a little bit of champagne. And this thing is it's almost like an Aperol spritz. It's absolutely gorgeous. A lot of fun.
I gotta see if that Dubonnet is available in the Metro Detroit area. I need to, because I was searching and it wasn't popping up for me. It was popping up. I was finding it, but just not where I could grab it locally.
Sure.
But we'll have to buy it online.
We'll have to do.
In the US, you can buy it online.
Okay, so we gotta hunt that down.
Yes, we do.
That could be one of the cocktails that we do, because we've been having fun and just kind of mixing it up and making some fun cocktails. So when you make a gin cocktail, you're a purist, right? You said that just a moment ago. But if you're going to a gin cocktail, Adam, what are you mixing up? What are you pouring in the glass?
I really like Negronis, especially if I'm enjoying a good cigar. I really like a Highclere Negroni. I feel like the flavors play really well with the cigar, and it's deep and it's rich. If I'm looking for something more refreshing, I like the what we call the British 75 or the French 75, which is a very refreshing summer drink with a bit of champagne and Highclere Castle Gin.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's very elegant. But to be honest with you, my go-to is, and I'm very kind of basic when it comes to cocktails. I'm not a huge grapefruit juice person.
Okay.
But I really like a splash of fresh squeezed grapefruit juice in Highclere Castle Gin. And so I will often pour a little Highclere on the rocks. If I've got a grapefruit or if it's behind the bar, I ask them to just squeeze a wedge in for some fresh juice and then maybe garnish it with an orange twist. And that to me is just easy to sip. It's so refreshing. I don't need tonic. I don't really need anything else. I enjoy the flavors of Highclere that we worked 1.5 years to compose. And I think it does all the work for me,
That's incredible. I never thought about that.
Yeah. Grapefruit juice and Highclere, for some reason, it just erupts into flavor. And again, like I said, I'm not the guy who's drinking a glass of grapefruit juice or having a slice in the morning.
Right. 'Cause I'm a purist as well. I can drink Highclere Castle Gin neat. You know, every single day if I had that opportunity to. But I'm not a big mixologist. If I'm told what to put in it, I'll do it. But if I'm just gonna mess around, I'm terrible at that.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that at all.
I like the gimlet, and that's the one that we did when we did the Buffalo Bourbon Babe.
A good gimlet with Highclere is also like, I call that top 5 for me for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but not, just 75% of the time when I'm enjoying Highclere, I enjoy it so much. It's just some rocks and either a splash of lemon or a splash of lime, depends on what Colleen cut up for her cocktail. And that's what Matt and I are enjoying right now. We just poured it over a little ice,
A little lemon in there.
I went with lemon today.
Yep.
Just a splash of the lemon to bring a little freshness in there, but it's and that's the thing about the what the botanicals bring in there is a freshness, and that's what I find with gins. Generally, it's a fresher to describe it, right? When we're talking about the bourbons, it's always the sweet. Caramel, vanilla, and sweet.
Right.
Is when you're hitting the bourbons. And when I think about gins, and I think a good gin, it's fresh. And so how long from...
If you think about it, when we're sending these botanicals to the distillery after they've been dried from the Highclere Gardens, if you think about it, the drying process is essentially preserving all these natural oils that are trapped in the botanicals, that are trapped in the orange peel from Highclere. So when those get added to the still and the water vapor and the heat kind of reconstitutes it and brings it back to life. So you're spot on. What we're trying to capture in the gin is kind of like that, that midsummer afternoon where you walk past those orange blossoms on the tree and you're like, wow, what is that fragrance? We're capturing that and liquefying it. So you're right on. That is very much the intention. Fresh.
One of the first things I noticed about the Highclere Castle Gin are the legs, the oils that's in the gin itself. Because when you're drinking out of a tumbler or a glass or what have you, they hang on so well.
Yes,
they really do.
You say that. I'm so glad you recognize that. That is. I will brag for a moment about this.
Yes, please.
I've never seen that happen in any gins before. To have that thickness of viscosity where there's that much oil in it, there's that much flavor, and the fatty acids are in there, all that's happening to make those legs like that, you're quite on. Because if it's doing that to the side of the glass, it's doing that to the tongue.
Yes, it sits in the back of your palate for that much longer, so you can enjoy it that much longer at the same time.
And it's hanging, and again, it's hanging out with a freshness. It's
not biting the back of your teeth off with the sweet. It's got that nice.
It's not that harsh stuff I drank as a younger man. Let's not do it. You were
Dog 2020.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah. So how long does it take for a bottle to arrive on shore from the initial distillation there? How long of a process is that with distillation and the baskets and and is there? You said the botanicals were dried, so is there a season or two ahead of that? How long is it? How long is the production process?
Yeah, it takes a couple of months to get a real batch ready, between when you factor in, harvesting the botanicals, preparing them. The actual distillation itself, because it is unaged, It's only a couple days. We do about 4 distillations because we don't want to overly purify it like a vodka because you lose all the character when you do that.
That's fair.
So the actual distillation part is relatively easy, but believe it or not, it's a lot more complex to produce that bottle that you're holding there. That glass bottle is made in England as well. And that operation is mind-blowing. I mean, you're talking about a factory that has, thousands of tons of molten lava overhead flowing through pipes, being redirected to different production lines.
Yeah.
The bottling machine itself, that it literally comes out as molten glass. It's really so white hot you can't even look at it. And then it's being shaped into that glass. Then the air is being blown into it. It has to be structurally strong. It has to be painted that custom purple that we selected. I mean, that's really the expensive and very complicated part. Once you get the recipe of the liquid down, which by the way took us over a year to get that right.
Right.
But once that's down, that's kind of like a batch process, and we've got it down.
Because there's a partnership there, and you were working with Lord and Lady Carnarvon to figure out that taste profile, if you will, right? Yeah. So what was that like? And we're going to hear the other side of the story too.
Because we've talked to Adam. I'm tired of Adam. We've had Adam on the show 3 times, and because we've talked and we've sung the praises of it, and I'm just busting your chops there, Adam. And we're like, it would be really fun if we could get Lord Carnarvon on to hang out a little bit. Yeah. And, we're dealing with the time change and everything. It's always a juggling match.
That's why it's so early for the man cave.
But today, we are very, very honored to have Lord Carnarvon join us. Sir, welcome to the man cave.
Welcome, Lord Carnarvon.
Hello. Well, hello, Matt. Hello, Jamie. Hello, Adam. Okay. Hi.
Well, we appreciate you taking some time to stumble on into the man cave with us. Matt and I have, we met Adam early on in the inception of the gin, and we've become very, very big fans. And so we thank you for your time and coming in. So, Lord Carnarvon, my first question to you is, when Adam approached you with this idea, what was it about this pitch, about this idea that you looked at this Adam guy and said, yes, we're going to put our name on this? What was it about this project that got that yes?
Some of the most exciting things we've done at Highclere is when I respond to emails that at first look appear to be absolutely crazy. And this is one of them, and it's amazing. And I thought, well, if this guy bothers to email me from the US on this idea, let's think about it and take it a step further. And admittedly, the first thing we did was to have a sort of crazy tour of Scottish distilleries thinking about whiskey, which was all quite good fun in the rain in Scotland. And then we came back and thought a bit more about gin, and this is where we've got to today.
That's amazing.
So we've met Adam, and we've also worked with the Foundation Cigars in the Highclere line of cigars, and I know you had the idea to launch both. And the cigars seemed to come together a little more quickly than the gin. The gin was a more laborious process to get the recipe down. Lord Carnarvon, tell me a little bit about your end of the cigars and how that came together for you.
Well, it was my grandfather who was the great cigar guy in the family, and of course then it was the big deal to have everything from Cuba, and he had some fantastic cigars. It was always, whenever he had friends around here at Highclere, he always wanted to tell them it was the best of this and the best of that, and specially obtained by him, and some things I probably better not say about how they're made in Cuba, but he'd like to sort of labor that point. But I was fascinated by the idea of literally out of the blue going to Nicaragua and seeing what we could do there. So we were out there for about 8 days. How we ever thought we were going to create this amazing cigar just like that, but with of course the amazing skills of Nick Melillo, and somehow things came together, and we even though not even that experienced in cigars, we went for the right blend. And then we designed the actual box there in front of us with a mixture of modern CAD and very traditional skills in woodwork. And that story's just gone from there, really. And it's even developed on with the slightly stronger, darker tobacco Victorian, which I know is a big hit in America.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nick, we had I had the pleasure of sitting down with Nick. We really enjoyed talking to him and having a couple of cigars, and he really told us a story. Nick is a great storyteller.
He's a great storyteller, yes.
And we love those. We love those stories, and that's what the Man Cave's all about. It's all about learning. It's all about the stories, and the Highclere Castle, the story behind the recipe that you guys finally settled on. You guys were picking and choosing and trying to find the things to put into the basket. So, Lord Carnarvon, what botanicals that go into the basket? What should we know about? What are coming from the estate? What should we know about them? Because from what I understand, it's the magic ingredient, the secret ingredient is the oats. So specifically, what should we know about the oats and what goes into the basket?
Of the oats, we were drying a lot of citrus from our collection of lemons, oranges, mini oranges, the subtropical citrus, which the Victorians liked, and we still have all these bushes today. And also we had lavender, which goes back a long way at Highclere. That goes really back to medieval times, people growing lavender for its scent and its beauty and the rest. And then we were sort of making progress with these blends, and it was all going along a long time. And then I had the sort of rather weird idea with the master distiller that we grow a lot of oats for our friends, the performance horses, the race horses, polo ponies and stuff. I thought, well, why don't we try some oats in the whole botanical late part of the distilling process? Because you can't really taste them, but they may well have a smoothing effect. And they looked at me as if I was a little bit crazy, but they said they'd have a go. And it really absolutely did the trick. And I remember getting yet another one of these little glass bottles that turn up from the distillery. Yeah. And so many had come and gone before with more or less alcohol, this botanical and forward or backwards, a bit more juniper or less of it. And then I opened this one, literally at arm's length, and I knew we got it right because I didn't even have to taste it. It's incredible and absolutely perfect aroma of the alcohol at 43.5% came off the bottle. And of course, we did taste it. It was so smooth. And I remember with Adam, we had to go to, there was a show in Las Vegas about cigars.
Okay.
And I smuggled this bottle in with me in the luggage because it was tough. You couldn't, you have to be careful with that.
Yeah.
And I remember we were, as in Ocean's 11, we were up on the 12th
there
floor.
It is.
And I pulled out all the other stuff from the minibar, and we had this one there, and all the guys were there, and everyone raved about it. And we sealed the recipe, didn't we, Adam, with a distillery there and then. And that's how that story.
On the 12th floor of the Bellagio, with, I think, the moment we cracked the bottle, I literally remember it this way. I think Mozart or Beethoven started to play in the fountain of the Bellagio outside our window.
It's just perfect timing.
Timing is everything.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So, question for the both of you. So, as your partnership continues to grow and as Highclere continues to grow, what are some of the things that we should be looking out for with the Highclere Castle Gin, your brand, and what have you? What's next in the next couple of years?
Well, this year,
want to say more about that?
Sure, this year, kind of a little sneak peek because we haven't really spoken much about this yet, but this year is the 100-year anniversary of the discovery of the tomb of Tutankhamun by Lord Carnarvon's great-grandfather, the 5th Earl, and archaeologist Howard Carter.
Okay.
So as an homage to that, we've done something very unique in that we've taken Highclere Castle Gin, and we've been barrel aging it in 50-year-old Armagnac casks.
Oh, my goodness.
Scotch whiskey barrels and American oak, new oak barrels. And it's been sleeping for the past year or so. And the resulting spirit within is this incredibly decadent kind of honey golden, the spice, the leather, the smoky, the citrus is coming forward, and it's just about done. It'll be done in another month or so, and we've crafted a very special golden bottle. We're only doing a couple thousand cases throughout the U.S. and UK for this, and that'll be coming out in the fall. So very excited about that.
That sounds amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So yeah, I'm gonna get my order in now.
Right.
Astounding. So Lord Carnarvon, when you said yes to Adam got that yes, and you guys moved forward with this, was there any permissions? I mean, it's from like Buckingham or London to use the being part of the infrastructure there. Mm-hmm. Did you have any permissions that you had to get to be able to use the Highclere name, or it's like, no, that's my house, dang it.
Our own name, but we obviously did quite a bit of work on trademark, line drawing, designs, getting all sorts of things trademarked. I mean, it was a lot of work went into the design of the bottle, and what you were mentioning, the purple color, which reflects back to the bishops of Winchester past times here with their robes and things. So I think the sort of combined design effort and the detail of getting the IP right on trademarks and things was all kind of important, really. It's becoming a well-known sort of symbol in the brand.
Yeah. Yeah, the bottle itself, just on the back with the barcode that it's shaped like the Highclere Castle itself. It's just there's so many unique pieces of this bottle.
I just wasn't sure if there was any sort of etiquette or if there was any sort of, limitations or regulations that you could, for having a product come out with, something from a lordly line.
What do you mean? Spirits are heavily regulated? What are you talking about? Right?
And then, if you think about it, I mean, Lord Carnarvon, he's coming from a lineage at Highclere that's been there since the 1600s. So. Yeah. I mean, the only one who had to get permission was me. He put it on a cigar box in a gin bottle. To be honest, yeah. There's nobody else to go to.
So I could start a gin line called Jamie's House, but nobody's gonna buy it. Nobody's like crazy about that. So,
to an extent, that imitation is a sincere form of flattery. One or two large companies over here are cheeky enough to use the words Highclere, which is because it's the name of a village, so they can do it without the word castle, on their products, high-end products, because they're basically sort of coasting on our brand success.
That's great.
All right, so we got you on here, Lord Carnarvon. We gotta talk about TV and the movies and that cinematic classic film there at Highclere, King Ralph. So that was so I'm teasing, right?
Yes,
so there's been a lot of things filmed at Highclere Castle. King Ralph was one of them.
Was, yeah.
So there's been the Antique Roadshow. I love the Antiques Roadshow, and you guys had done some there on site back. This was in the 70s, I believe, perhaps.
Well, we didn't really do much filming until sort of into the late 80s. One of the versions of The Secret Garden, which was a CBS show, was filmed here.
Gotcha.
But there's been quite a number of productions leading up to...
Stanley Kubrick's last movie, Eyes Wide Shut, was mostly shot at Highclere, but you wouldn't know.
Right.
It's all in the dark. Without the building, atmosphere of the building.
So, and then, of course, just massively successful Downton Abbey, and then leading to the movies, which the next movie coming out. So when movies are in production, it's a castle. It's a pretty big place, right? Do you guys vacate? Are you there during production? How's that work for you?
When we were doing all the TV series and indeed the movie, we're very much part of everything here because we have very long days and very short nights. We've got to get these guys into the building at 6:15 in the morning.
Wow.
Get everything safely organized for them to get going with stuff on the floor and thinking about how they're going to use the place. And then we have to shut everything down at night so there's no power left on anywhere. The light is going to get hot. Everything's safe. Often right into the evening, and there's a short period in between. So they're quite long days, really.
Wow. So, but people can visit the castle and the grounds, and there's places to stay. I was just quite enamored by that. There's like two different sorts of settings people can come and visit.
We've got two quite eccentric and fun holiday cottages, which are really sort of slightly folly-type buildings. One of which is the two lodges either side of my ancestors' triumphal arch, the first Carnarvon. You can stay. You live in. I think Adam and Regina have done this, haven't you? You stay over in one side at night, and you're a day on the other side of it.
Oh my goodness!
And we also have the round tower, which we call the Grotto, which is a Victorian flint building, high up, about 800 feet above sea level. You can see all the way to the horizon line.
Wow. My goodness!
That's a fun building to stay. You can have two couples in that one.
So, and you have a lot of different events. Mother's Day in England happens on April 3rd, and you guys have a Mother's Day event happening. People come out and.
Well, we have a lot of things. You can see it all online on the website. Lots of special types of events. Later in the year, we have Magic of the Movies, where we have a lot of explanations about how things were shot in and around the castle, and people can become dressed up as if they were back in the 20s and the rest. They're all fun weekends.
That's amazing.
I love that. So do you get a lot of fans that come for a stay just because they're such fans of the Downton Abbey?
Well, there's many people come from the USA, Canada, North America, all around the world. And there's lots of little places, large and small, where they stay within 10 miles of here. Or they come down from London on the train. I mean, so it's pretty easy, really.
Oh.
There's just so much going on. You go to the website, of course. You want to always go to the website, check it out, because you're going to get all the most up-to-date information
it's
there.
best to get your tickets before you come here, buying them online, really.
Okay.
Yep.
Plan ahead. Plan ahead.
Yes.
That's the e-ticket at Disneyland right there. You gotta get registered. Now, Lady Carnarvon, the Countess, she has quite the social presence herself. She's got her own podcast, which goes into a lot of the history. I think how many books does she have? Like 6 books, something like that.
She's the last one was Seasons at Highclere, which has gone very well, and she's working really hard right in the middle of it now. And I'm amongst all the papers of the first ever biography of the 5th Earl of Carnarvon, because no one's ever written about my great grandfather's life, and because he was being an extraordinary, eccentric, and amazing Edwardian gentleman adventurer, ending up with discovering Tutankhamun's tomb and also being a great photographer. So I mean, it's an amazing man. Really.
But her website is really, really rich. There's just a great blog, and there's recipes. Her podcast itself, and they're all connected on there. Simply ladycarnarvon.com, and because I was snooping around that earlier, and it was like I was fascinated by that. I'm like, wow, she is working hard at this stuff. I'm like, I gotta just get some advice, because it's
and update Instagram every day with over 300,000 followers now.
Right,
and of course a series of books from the original Lady Almina and the real Downtown Abbey, which was the family history around the time of effective, my great grandfather, the 5th Earl and Countess, and then on from there.
Man. Well, you know what? We cannot thank you enough, the both of you, for the time you've spent with us this afternoon, coming into the Man Cave and just having a conversation with us, because we love to learn. We want to learn more. There's always more to learn. So your partnership, your support is just absolutely fantastic. Adam, you are so gracious. Thank you so much for putting all this together. Lord Carnarvon, thank you for the time today.
Thank you for your time. We
really,
appreciate it.
Honestly appreciate this.
Enjoy the gin and the cigar.
We will.
We will.
We will.
That's wonderful. It was good to see you again, and thanks again for your support and everything everything that you do for us as well.
It's easy to do when you're this good, man.
Yeah,
so,
it's that easy.
Gentlemen, thank you so much, and cheers.
And cheers, yes.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.